Hello and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to my channel. I am Tamara Joy, your leader of She Can Co. and the Faith Field Agent. And I want to talk to you guys today about my favorite thing, and that is what is it like to be a faith field agent? So, some of you may know I'm a real estate agent, I'm a faith mentor, and a business coach, but I do things differently. I actually teach people how to be a faith field agent, what it looks like to place God in the front of their business. And for some people, they are like, whoa. What is this girl talking about? Like, seriously, what does she got going on here? And so I wanted to come on here and, just kind of pour my heart into you and chat with you about what is it to be a faith field agent? What does that look like? How do I apply it to my business? Do I want to be a faith field agent? Maybe you are a person who is like, I love Jesus. I want to know more about him. I love real estate. I'm tired of the hustle and bustle. And you're like, I want something different and I want something new. So if you are someone like that, this video is going to be exactly what you're looking for. So let's talk about this. Being a faith field agent. So, what if I told you the foundation of my own business is my faith? I have always been called to be very set apart. I don't like conforming to the world. I like to do things my own way. I don't like following rules. And so that's what I love so much about allowing Jesus to come into my business, is because he allows me to be myself. And being a faith fueled agent isn't about working harder. It's about being rooted in something greater than yourself. And for me, that's God. So being a faith fueled agent, really means that your identity is not tied to your production. For me, it's not tied to my production or my closings, and it's not tied to the market. My identity is rooted in Jesus. And I love Jesus so much because he supports me and he wants me to do well. And when you know that he wants you to do well, you just show up differently automatically. And so, because of that, everything that I do in my business changed. Everything that I do in my business changes. And so, let me break it down for you in this real world, practical way. Being a faith field agent, it's not just a strategy. It's relying on principles that are already in the Bible. In the Bible, you guys, the Bible is the truth. Everything in the Bible is true. It is not even capable of being not true. And so when we start applying the biblical principles to our business, things change automatically. What does that look like? It looks like serving before selling. It looks like trusting instead of forcing outcomes. Like, how many of you guys have just, like, you're clinging so tight, you just want the sale, you want your business to just grow, and you're just like holding on for your dear life, and God is like, can you just like loosen your grip just a little bit so I can actually do my thing here? And it's leading with integrity, even when it costs me. Maybe I don't get all the listings because somebody doesn't believe what I believe in, but that's okay because God is going to redeem that and reward that. And it's also having peace when things don't go as planned. And so this has become my system. It's not just a mindset, it is how I do my work each and every day. And so, what does this actually look like day to day? So, it means when a deal falls apart, I don't spiral. I just trust that there's something better. When I walk into a showing, I'm not thinking, how do I close this? How do I get a sale? I'm thinking, how do I serve my clients in this space? How do I serve them well in this home? The other day I did something so different. I was like, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm not going to view the showing through a camera lens and post it onto my stories and capture my clients. I'm going to put my phone in my back pocket. I'm going to let God allow me to be present, and I'm going to let him come through. And let me tell you, the fact that I put down that little piece of distraction, because the world tells you, you gotta show up and everybody's gotta see that you're working, because we naturally want to tie our worth to our production and the things that we're doing every day. But God gave me that prompt. And let me tell you, it was a totally different experience. My client, first showing, we went from looking, he was so nervous. And at the end, he was like, I want to buy this house. And I truly believe that a part of that was the fact that God prompted me to put down my phone because he knew that my client needed me. And my client knew that he wanted to trust me, but he wanted to see me in a different way where I wasn't looking out and not placing him as a priority. And so showing houses can look very different when you are a faith-fueled agent because it is about serving. And one other thing is when it comes to negotiations, I don't come from a place of operating from fear when I am a faith-fueled agent. You stay very anchored, you don't panic. And that trust comes from God alone. And the other thing is being a faith-fueled agent means that I don't do business alone. Now, if you're like me, I don't like being alone. I love knowing that I have somebody with me all the time. It gives me comfort, it gives me peace, but God is always with me. And I love that so much that I can just look over and see something and just like bake in the presence of God's abundance, that I can just know that his spirit is within me and I can talk to him at any moment, anytime. And that brings me so much peace and knowing that I have a God that doesn't want to leave me alone. He wants to walk with me all the time. And so, because of this, I have learned to invite God into my decisions, my conversations, and my strategy. I trust that He's going to bring me the right clients. I trust that he's going to create divine appointments. He's going to give me the words to say. He's going to sharpen my discernment. I mean, iron sharpens iron. Why wouldn't you want to sharpen iron with the one who is the creator and the master of all things and gives us this gift to step into a space to do this work? And so he gives me wisdom and understanding, and he grows me into the person that I need to become for the clients that he already has in front of me to serve. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This doesn't mean that it's a walk in the park. This doesn't mean that it's super easy and I'm not going to face challenges. It doesn't mean I don't have disappointment or seasons when I feel really uncertain. I actually feel that way all the time. What it does mean, though, is that because I'm not walking alone, I am not walking through any of it by myself. And I have someone walking hand in hand with me. And also, what I love the most is that he's actually one step ahead of me. When I think about the disciples following Jesus, they were literally like 6 inches behind him all the time, writing everything down. Oh, Jesus did this. Oh, Jesus did that. Oh, Jesus did this. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. And they were just absorbing all of the things that Jesus had, and they were in training. But what is more beautiful about that is that they trusted every single step he took. And God wants us to be just like those disciples. He is like, let me show you how to do this. And you are the disciple in your business. And it's so powerful because that story and that picture that I just gave you is the perfect example. And what Jesus left us with is his spirit. He left us with something bigger and something better. And he said that in the Bible. He said, I'm going to give you something better than me. And that is the spirit. And his power lives within us each and every moment. And what that means is that you have access to him, you have access to his mindset, you have access to his peace, you have access to his discernment, his strength, everything he carried. You cannot carry, you can now carry, not carry, you can now carry in your business as a real estate agent. Because if I'm being honest, like our job can be challenging at times. We can wear the heaviness of the transactions when they don't go through, or clients are frustrated, or you get pre-approvals that, are not at an amount that you thought they were going to be. It can be very hard. And so when we are carrying that, we have a hard time moving forward. We stay stuck all the time. But Jesus is like, let me carry this for you. Invite me into what you're doing each and every day. Become a faith fueled agent. Let me be your gasoline in what you're doing in this space so that you can do it so, so well. And now that you can bring that into your real estate business every day, you want to know what it really starts with? It starts with you making the daily choice every single day that I'm going to do this with God. I am going to invite God in each and every day. And it's saying, like, God, I'm going to let you lead this conversation. I'm going to let you guide this deal. I'm going to let you give me the words. And in these moments where fear creeps in or anxiety shows up, anxiety is just it's a mindset, right? It's not always real. And sometimes anxiety can feel like excitement and nerves, but God wants us to give them that too. He tells us in Peter 1:5-7 to cast all of our cares and anxieties onto him. He tells us, do that all the time, whenever they come up, whenever you feel them. He doesn't say just do it once and be done with it. He's like, I am here for you whenever that starts. And if you're like me, we have that all the time in real estate. Like, this is an anxious business because it's high and it's low. It's good and it's bad. It's over here and it's over there. Like, it's all over the place. But when we have a foundation that is built on God and we are letting God lead us in the mix of all things work out. And it's so beautiful. We don't have to like question everything. We can pause, we can reconnect, and we can say, God, I need you to take this again. I need you to like take control of this. I'm giving this to you. I surrender this to you. And that's what being a faith fueled agent is. It's not about being perfect, it's about partnership. And how many of us are looking for partnerships? We pay for partnerships. Like, we don't have to pay for a partnership with God. And what's wonderful about that is like it's free and he gives us so much. He wants to provide for us so badly. We just have to open ourselves up to receive it. And we do that through letting him lead all of the things that we are a part of each and every day in our business. So, with that being said, I'm going to give you 3 simple steps of how you can start your day to be a faith fueled agent before your day even starts, before the showings, before you open your phone, all of that. So, number 1 is you're going to pause and say, God, lead me today. Guide my conversations, bring the right people in front of me. And when you do that, he's going to graft and align all things together. This is where it really begins. It's not with strategy, it's with alignment. How many of us feel off because we're like not aligned? Things are just not fitting together. Well, when we partner with God, we get to come right center in the middle with him. He is there. We are not out of alignment. We are in alignment. And that is where we want to be. And number 2 is we shift from striving to serving. Instead of asking, how do I get a deal today? How do I get in front of a client today? You ask God, who can I serve today? What does this person look like? Where do I find them? What do they need, God? And what's beautiful about that is that he's going to give you the intuition, the prompt, the thoughts, the ideas of what to do next. And that is how we can shift our focus from, the stuck feeling, the chore of it, to focusing on people. And then everything about your business feels different because you're showing up with purpose rather than showing up in panic. And that is where the beauty and the momentum starts, is when you really start looking at from a higher point of view and you start looking at it through God's eyes and serving people. Like, Jesus came to serve us. Whether we recognized it or not, he was there to meet a need that we didn't even know that we had. But he gave Jesus the awareness to understand people and to know how to guide them. And he only knew how to do that because God was within him and God went before him. He trusted God's words, he trusted God's guidance. And that is a part of being a faith-fueled agent. And number 3 is the hardest thing for us to do, but it is releasing control and it's trusting the process. If I can give you anything to take away from this, is that real estate can feel so unpredictable, but being a faith field agent means you don't grip tighter. You stay faithful to the work, you stay faithful to the actions, and you have a deeper surrender of knowing that God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lean into what you are speaking to me. And I'm going to trust you with the outcome. I'm releasing the fear of the results that they're not going to be there. I'm going to remove that limiting belief. I'm going to release that lie from the devil. And I'm going to trust that what's meant for me is going to come. You know, God says in his word that according to his will, it will be done. Well, his will for us is to have all of the desires of our heart. It says it in the Bible. It says in his word that when we ask and believe, we will receive. It says that anything that we come to him for in prayer and petition will be answered according to our belief and our faith in him. And if we have that, it is no way possible for God to not answer our prayers, for him to not come through. His will is for us to have access to all of the abundance that he has. He doesn't stress about clients. He doesn't stress about money. He doesn't stress about the conversations. He is like, I got this for you. You just got to believe that I'm going to actually give it to you. So keep showing up. Keep doing the things that I'm asking you, and I'm going to give you more than you could ever ask, think, or imagine. That's in Ephesians 3:20. So it's a promise. It is a promise that he will deliver on all of the things that he is providing to you to do. And so being a faith-filled agent is really about identity, knowing who we are in him, but trusting him, and then creating a space for him to actually show up and fill. And that's the beautiful thing about working with God, collaborating with God, partnering with God. That is how you place him in front of your business to truly be the CEO of your business. And then him teaching you how to do this with him. And so when you start doing these 3 things, inviting him in, serving people well, and trusting instead of controlling, you'll begin to experience that your business is completely different. And you'll start not just seeing results, but you're going to have peace, you're going to have clarity, and more importantly, you're going to have confidence in who you are because God's character is coming through you. And if you've been feeling like there has to be a different way to build your business, a way that feels aligned, feels peaceful, and actually fills you, this is it. And I'm telling you, this is it because I've experienced this for myself. This is what being a faith-fueled agent means. And this is why God has called me to this space to teach you how to be a faith-fueled agent. My heart is for real estate agents to learn and to know that God is so for you in this space. He is so for you in this business. And he wants you to invite him in because he wants to bless you so big. And so that is what I wanted to share with you today. This went way longer than what I ever expected, but I can tell you that this is for you. You deserve the best business. You deserve a big business. You are worth bigger things, and you deserve to have exactly what God called you to. And that is to bless others in transition with buying and selling homes. And he's going to show you how to do that in a faith-fueled way by allowing him to come in and be a part of your story as an agent. So if this did anything for you today, drop a comment below. I pray that you can use one thing out of here. And as always, if you like this content, like and subscribe to my channel. Share this with an agent that needs a little inspiration today. And I know that God is going to lead you into bigger and better things. That's all I got for you today. Have a great day.